Hi, this is Mike, and we're looking at the Euro chart at the moment. So I had to do quite a bit of digging between the small degree Euro waves and the US dollar waves in order to come up with an understanding of what we are seeing in this chart. Now, you have to understand this is all part of my bigger picture analysis videos that have come out in the last week, especially the more recent ones, right? And you have to understand that this is a correction. So we're bound to encounter very strange waves and very weird interpretation. You have to like follow me with this because it's not easy, right? And there's very fine pieces of information that will give away our location or its location. So then we can understand whether or not it's a good idea to trade this right now. And yes, there are ways to do it, but you have to understand what you're trading in order to not get psyched out in the process here, because I think it's going to get crazy in the next week, especially. So what I mean by that is, okay, so we saw, let me get the highlighter for this one. So we saw wave A, right? I'm gonna do this in yellow. There we go. We saw wave A, right? And we saw wave B. Oops, if I can just get this right, give me a moment. All right, we saw wave B. Now, according to the euro, we saw wave C as well. It ended here. So I had to go back and check out the US dollar chart, confirm this is right. And then I started to see some other weird things like, okay, if that's wave C and you've labeled this that way, the way I have, could this be just wave C that goes from here to here? And I had to think about that for a moment. And then I go, yeah, it's possible. So I had to go back and check the US dollar chart and check out um, what happened afterwards. And there was a couple of things that really caught my attention that said, no, that's not what's happening. This is wave C. Right, that's wave D there, right? Small wave C for D, but the clues gave it away, and I'll explain those clues. So let's say, for example, we have a wave one of a weak type one weak 5 wave move, which means wave one moves up in 3 waves like that, right? Then you've got the case of, okay, a corrective pattern for wave two, right? So that means we're going to see a wave three zigzag, right? Now, before I continue to what's going on here, right, let's talk about this area for a second, right? Let me go back a couple of steps. Let's talk about this area here, right? Why would this not be something else? So let's just quickly go to the US dollar chart, right? So you've got same thing, you've got A, B, C down here. And then I obviously I took into consideration, well, can this be the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5? And I thought, yeah, but the correction for example, think about it this way. If you had wave 5 here, sorry, end of wave C here, right? You'd need to see a D wave here, right? But there's no D wave here. In fact, it would have been okay as an idea to assume it was a D wave, except we broke this low here. So it can't be a D wave, right? So that there gave it away that it wasn't this move, right? It was exactly where I said it was. There, C, D, small d. Yeah, look at B. B was small, D is small. It just shows weakness in the market. And then I thought, okay, well, that can only be wave one. The wave C is a bit smaller, but actually I don't think that's where wave A ended. I think wave A ended like slightly up a bit because the corrective patterns A, B, C, D, E. Sorry, I think that's right. I think it might have been even like a sharp A, B, C, D, E, something like that. Anyway, the point is that it's a weird one, and that's why I got confused in the first place. But it can't be a D here, so it can't be C ended down here, right? So we have to go with the idea that the euro is presenting, which totally made me realize that this was the way to look at it. So therefore, wave one here, wave two here. So then the sharp move down that we saw was A wave A, right? Now this is where it gets strange. So I'll go to the euro chart for a moment. So we had, let me just get rid of all this. Oh, hang on, that's not going to work. One sec. Anyway, let's just get rid of this stuff here. Right. So we've got E wave complete, wave one, zigzag. Right. We've got wave two. Now we need to see a wave three zigzag. Right. Now this is where it gets super weird because if you go down to the 15-minute chart, for example, I don't know if this is going to do it any justice, to be honest. So we've got wave two there. Keep an eye on wave two. I have to go even lower, 5-minute. 5-minute, right? So get this. We had wave A, we had A, B, C, D up into the CPI numbers and E. So that's B, right? So we're going to have to go slower once again. I'm sorry about this. Needs to be done, right? So if you look at the first wave, it's a zigzag, right? I told you it was going to get weird, right? So that means that wave C of the zigzag, wave 3, is a zigzag. So it's going to be a weak wave C for the zigzag. All right, I told you it was going to get weird, right? I warned you, right? So basically, what that means is we've got A, we got B up here, right? We got C down here. That barely made a low to make C, D, and E, right? I don't know why I have wave one there, seriously. So basically what we have here is wave two, wave two. So what's this move going to be now? I'll give you one guess. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you 10 seconds. Right? Well, it's only one thing it can be. The start of a wave three zigzag. Right? So in my opinion here, with this weird pattern that we've got here, we've probably got a wave one of the first part, like the first, sorry, the wave A of the wave three zigzag. This is like probably wave one of that wave A, right? So, geez, what do we make this? Let's just make it that. So this is like, basically this is a bottom here, in my opinion, right? A bottom at this point, right there. So a break of this here will confirm this. The previous high here that happened at, well, it depends where you live, really. I can't really say that. So at 1.08648 is a long entry if you want confirmation. I don't think it'll go lower, otherwise it'll just break the lows and invalidate the whole idea, which I doubt it's going to do. So this is weird. This is a very strange thing that's going on here, but it's corrective. Remember I said that? It's corrective. So what I'm getting at is basically this. Take the length of wave A from the end of wave, well, B, basically, right? And we'll probably end up going about that high, right? At this point, right? It'll probably end up going to 1.10152, right? For wave 3, or a bit longer. But typically wave C will be similar in length to wave A, right? So that will be wave 3, right? That'll be wave 3 of wave E, the wave E correction, right? So it'll be a zigzag. So just to recap, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I got that wrong again. I keep counting like a preschooler. 1, 2, A, B, C for 3, right? And then you'll get the 4 and the 5, whatever. But when you look at it at a bit of a larger degree, it doesn't really help. Maybe like 4-hour chart, right? By the time you get there, you're already looking at, yay high. Still not very high. I mean, okay. So the thing is with this is that because it's corrective and because it's going to get choppy, you probably won't realize that as long as wave 3 is not the shortest. So if we measure wave 1 at this point and compare it to what's coming, that's fine. Wave 3 won't be shorter than wave 1. So wave 5 can actually be the long wave here, right? It could actually be the long wave here. It could go quite high. It could be this length roughly, right? Compared to wave 3, it could be, right? It could be the one that takes it where it's going, wherever the hell that is, right? And I don't think it's going to, okay, roughly to the previous wave 4 is ideal, right? This area up here, roughly like the previous high and just maybe even tiny bit above it, just to to maybe stop out whoever went short at the highs. I wouldn't be surprised if it does that, right? But that's the kind of thing that I think is going to happen here before we top out in the euro and it's time for it to collapse. And I mean literally collapse. This is the end game for the euro. That's what I'm explaining here is the end game. And that's why I go into detail here, like I always do anyway, but still. This is the level of complexity that I need to go to in order to make sense of the markets. Because if I don't make sense of it, I don't think anyone out there will the way that I do. So if we're going to catch this top here, like we need to make sure that we understand what it is that we're trading, right? Because if you start to see this, like probably like a lot of people might, they probably think it's bullish all of a sudden and probably go long somewhere. I don't know. Probably go long soon. God knows. But the point is, like, if you don't know the structure of what exactly is going on and how it's playing out and why, then you're playing fool's game here, right? You're not trading. You're just being a herd. You're herding like a sheep, right? You don't want to do that. So my goal here is to track the waves, make sure that you understand the potential. If you have something better to understand this move that's going on, you know what? Please leave your chart in the comment section. I really want to take a look at it. But this here is what RES wave does, right? A lot of people think it's funny. A lot of people think, oh, Elliott wave is crap. So is RES wave. It's so different. It's so different. Please, please try to have an open mind for once, rather than just criticizing things. But if you're a supporter, I appreciate it. Leave the comments. Please support my work. Hit the booster button. Yeah, get a boost and like on this thing. And yeah, let's see if we can track this and get ready for the big one because it's coming.